Seeking love? Let's dive in together. Welcome to Radiant Romance, my journey to true love. Join me, Christine Howard, as I navigate the twists and turns of finding my soulmate with grace, ease, and joy. Don't miss your chance to be front row with me in this exhilarating journey. Tune in and be inspired to manifest your own radiant romance. Welcome to another episode of Radiant Romance, my journey to true love. I am Christine Howard, your host and subject of this reality show. I am so grateful to be back here with you. It's been a couple weeks since the last episode, and there was a really good reason for that. I was overwhelmed with all the commitments I had made with men and business, and I really needed some downtime to process and digest everything. But I am back, and I am excited to bring you up to speed on what the heck has been going on in my journey to true love. So let's dive in with this celebrations clip. Here are the top 5 things I am celebrating this week. Number 1, I'm celebrating that I had a great conversation with my naturopath about hormonal health, and I have a hormone test kit to process. Now, I will say this doesn't sound super sexy, maybe not sexy at all. However, I know hormones are such a big part of our libido, and I want to make sure that mine are all in order once or before my partner comes in. Once I have the test results, then I'll be able to meet with these 2 menopause sexuality doctors to see if they have any additional recommendations for me for hormone therapy. Now, I will say this is a bit longer process than I was anticipating, but I know it is all worth it. Celebration number 2, I'm celebrating a fun and insightful call with the matchmaker I mentioned in last week's episode. I signed up for her entry-level service, which was a 1 hour, and she gave me a little bit more, deep dive into creating my profile, really understanding who I am and what I'm looking for. The cool thing is that she really validated the perspectives and mindset that I have around dating and what I'm looking for. And also, it got me in her database. So I'm kind of on her radar for any matches. Number 3, I'm celebrating that sensually seduced class I attended recently, and I had some great sensual experiences myself. Now notice, I said sensual, not sexual. I will be diving into this and some insights and learnings in the next segment. Number 4 celebration is that I am celebrating, now I can celebrate all the men activity recently. Wow, I will say I felt like I was in the dating pool, literally in a pool. There was so much activity going on. I had a super fun meetup with one guy, kind of an insightful meetup with the second guy that I'll share some more insights on, and then a third guy that I canceled my date with. And even though I canceled it, I will say that we had a very beautiful conversation. And with all of this, the celebration, the sub-celebration is that I have really clear insight about all of these guys. And I want to share that with you, starting with the third guy going backwards. So number 3, the third guy, he's super adorable. He's heart-centered. But honestly, I see nothing more than friendship with him. Like where we're at, it doesn't line up. And I really do have more of that friend vibe with him. Guy number 2, I actually had 2 dates with, and I will say it was super fun getting to know him. I really loved how we had some similarities in our lifestyles. He had great communication skills. And I really felt like of all the guys I've met recently, he really got me and saw me. And even though there were some things that were aligned, ultimately, it came down to me not feeling this romantic vibe for him. And I either have it or I don't. And then number one guy, the first guy, this experience was a little crazy for me in that I ended up crying on our date. I was embarrassed. I was triggered, but not in a crazy way. And I have some insights and learnings to share with you there. Okay. Which leads me to celebration number 5 is that I'm actually taking a break from the dating apps. I have put 2 of them kind of in a hold status. And as a result of just really stepping back from that in this last week, because again, I'm kind of giving you a 2-week catch up here. I'm already feeling more grounded and centered, and that I kind of have my bearings again. So those are the celebrations that I wanted to share with you. This celebration clip reminds me of something else to celebrate: my subscribers. If you are one of them, I thank you for being a subscriber and for being on this journey with me. If you're not yet a subscriber, now is the perfect time to hit that subscribe button and also that notify button so you are first on that list when the next episode premieres. Okay, moving along. I have a beautiful captain's log I want to share with you before I dive into insights and learnings. To set the stage a little bit, this occurred right before my last episode aired. So again, it's been a little bit of time. It's really vulnerable and messy, but as you know, I am committed to keeping it real. Here's that captain's log.
Captain's log, Wednesday evening. I just walked into my bathroom to get ready for bed, and I looked at my face. That is major mascara under my eyes. I was crying earlier tonight, and wow, it was quite a day. How much do I want to share? I said this was going to be, real and raw, and yeah, I'll start. It was like a trifecta today. I was up late last night. Never good. All right. Kind of puts us behind the curve a little bit energy wise. I had gotten some news about, and I talked about this in my deep dive captain's log, this person that's been in and out of my life and not trying to figure things out. And really, again, in this place of, I guess, acceptance that we're friends, but they shared with me today they're in a new relationship, and I'm super happy for him, but I had some emotions today, and if I'm being honest with myself, I think was still that part of me that was hopeful that at some point he and I would be in a relationship other than our friendship, if I'm being honest with myself. And that lunch, I had a lunch date today. We dove deep, had some very vulnerable conversations. He was talking about relationship stuff, and my intuition, I was having several hits throughout the time, and actually had some intuitive hits even on our phone calls. But I'll tell you, a seed was planted to be open for somebody, different, or so this and that and the other thing, whatever. So I'm going in like, be curious, be open. He's evolved, just be open to see where the alignment is. So I had this lunch, and he talked a lot, and nothing wrong with that, but I felt myself starting to get stirred up by some of what he was saying. And then we did a little walk. I said yes to a walk, which honestly, I knew I wanted to get to work, but yet I was being open to, see what could evolve through the walk and conversation, and if my feelings would, shift or whatever. And I ended up crying. I ended up getting triggered, like emotionally triggered. And all of a sudden tears were flowing down my face. And by the time I continued to talk and tears kind of came down, and he comforted me. He was very sweet. But I got in the house and I just sat and I cried. And then I called a guy friend, and kind of shared with him what was going on. And I really cried. I just the tears were flowing. I got off the phone with him and the tears were flowing. And obviously there's some pent up energy here that needs to get released. And I need a good night's sleep. I'm sure I'll have more clarity tomorrow. But I guess a bright spot is I watched Matthew Hussey video, and he was really giving a simple formula about connecting with people, out in the world. And I'll tell you, I'm like really at this point tonight where I'm like wanting to get off the dating apps and meet people organically and just strike up that natural conversation. I'm not saying I'm going to, but that's how I feel right now. So, gosh, a kind of a roller coaster, it was a roller coaster emotionally. I'm still feeling emotions, and I'll share tomorrow where I'm at. It's my captain's log.
I will say I'm in a much better place now than what you saw in that video. And because there's been a bit of a gap, again, between episodes, I really could have just skipped showing it to you. But that didn't feel right, as this has really been part of my journey. Since that evening, I have given myself time to be, just to be, and to reground and to get clarity about not just that relationship, but most importantly, the relationship with myself and how I am showing up for myself. Now, this is the perfect lead in to my next segment, which is insights and learnings for the week. Enjoy the clip.
Insight number 1, I mapped this friend to that I was hoping would be something more than a friend to my relationship intention card. And to be honest, right away, there were a couple things that popped up as missing. And it really, doing this review really helped me to see that while this relationship has had a big purpose in my life over the last couple years, it has not, or he is not a match for me at that heart and soul level for the divine partner that I am truly calling in. And doing this really helped me. It was that last thing that helped me make peace with our relationship and helped me to actually recommit to what I am looking for in my divine partner. Okay, insight number 2. So let's go back to the second piece of that captain's log regarding that date where I was triggered and so tearful. What I learned is that I was giving this guy the benefit of the doubt time and time again, even when my intuition was telling me that we weren't aligned. And I didn't do this again just once. It was multiple times between our phone calls and then our lunch meetup. And as you saw, I said, I'm just going to give myself, just be more open. But truly, I broke so many rules of mine, not making it a coffee date, doing lunch instead, not listening to my intuition, again, along the way. And I think what happened is all these little triggers started building up. And at times, or so what ended up happening when we were in the lunch and then the walk, talking about relationships, I'll tell you, little by little, my body became more and more negatively activated. And I felt like I was being put in a cage. It was the strangest feeling. And in the end, what I really realized is like this guy, not only, are we not having a second date, even though he asked me for a second date, is that we're not aligned in some core foundational ways in how we view relationships. And that's okay. So for me, I realized like if it's not a hell yes with somebody, then it's a no. And that's okay. So again, really recommitting and remembering my intuition is spot on. All right, so another big insight and lesson learned is that I really can only communicate with one guy at a time when I'm getting to know somebody. I had so many awkward moments where these guys might have thought I was a kook of some sort because I wasn't keeping straight who I told what to. And again, this is a little bit of embarrassment, but the reminder that what works for me is really that navigating with one beautiful soul at a time and seeing that through. Okay, so then insight number 4, and this is a juicy one. I want to end on a high note here, and I want to talk about this sexuality, or the sensuality, not sexuality, that I mentioned earlier. And the class was so powerful in that it reminded me of things I already had heard about, but had forgotten about. And that the thing is, like, we are sensual beings. We experience life with our senses, right? So whether that's sight, taste, touch, feel, our ears, we can have more sensual experiences in our day if we slow it down and really like savor every moment. We can have these non-sexual moments with ourselves as well, with touch. Like, I've been giving myself hugs. I love it. It's not quite the same as someone else hugging me, but again, giving myself hugs, and how we can just feel our body, whether it's our arms, our legs, our face, and just with our eyes closed, just be really mindful of how beautiful we are in our essence. And so this was a super cool part of my insights and learnings to really support me in recommitting to my own self-love journey, self-growth, and how important it is to, when I'm really connected with myself and appreciating and really feeling and knowing myself, then that really helps me with a partner. So those are my insights and learnings for this week.
Okay, we're on to what's coming up next. I need to start with what's not coming up next. And that is my authentic connections event that I announced in the last episode. Since then, a lot has unfolded for me, and I have realized that now is not the time for this big event. Now, while it was a tough decision for my ego, it was absolutely an easy and right decision for my intuition. So I'm honoring and trusting that. So there is something that's coming up next, and that is the theme of getting out in the local community. I see there's some great events that are related to dance and breath work and meditation that I'm going to look into signing up for. In fact, I attended a full moon cacao ceremony last night, which was amazing. There was some pretty magical unfoldings for myself throughout the evening, and I will share some of those insights with you in the next episode, and it might even involve a man. And that really leads me to then asking you, are you getting out? Are you, not just sitting on the couch saying, oh, I'm not meeting anybody, but I feel and see there's so many opportunities to meet like-minded people. And there's a group for everything. I've been looking on Facebook and Eventbrite and Meetup. There's a group for everything. There's no excuses. All right. I'll bring it down to this. In closing, I thank you for being here for this episode today. I'm always grateful for you and also for your journey, helping, navigating these topics together. And I'm wishing you grace and ease on your own journey until our next episode. Bye for now.